hustle got to be strong in this industry, as in any other industry.
Good afternoon or morning, depending on your time zone. So, I wanted to get on here and talk about a subject that was brought up on Facebook in one of the groups, talking about 80 cents per mile in expediting. Alright, so his post, he asks, are there any companies who are hiring over-the-road owner-operator sprinter drivers out there that pay a little more than 80 cents per mile? If so, please let me know. Then you get into all the rants about 80 cents. Here's the thing. So, to answer his question, there is carriers out there that pay more than 80 cents. There's not very many of them. So you get people on here commenting about how, oh, I make $1.20, I make $1.10, I don't leave the house for less than $1. I get paid $1.39 for loads up to 600 miles. But then when you ask them more questions about it, they don't give you no answers. Like, what carrier it is. I understand if they want to try and keep that tight to the vest. They don't want people coming in and then driving their rates down. Okay, I can get that part. Okay, well, how many miles are you doing for that $1.10 that you're claiming you average? Crickets. No answer. So, my thing is that 80 cents, let's start with the 80 cents. You can make it at 80 cents. I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't give a shit. I did it when I first came out, and then you get a comment on that saying, well, you can do it as an owner operator, but you can't do it driving for a fleet owner. Once again, bullshit. Like, you can. I did it. I started off driving for a fleet owner for a carrier whose contracted rate was 80 cents a mile. And we didn't always get 80 cents. We probably averaged, I didn't keep up with my numbers real good my first 3 years, but I mean, I know that it was pretty much the same system in place. We was doing a lot of longer runs out to the west coast, northwest, down south to the border towns, and then we always came out at a cheaper rate, anywhere from 60 on up. The norm was probably 65. So, I was able to get through that 10 months that I worked for a fleet owner. I was able to get through it, fix my credit a little bit, and earn an income, earn revenue, I should say, income to show to the loaning facility to try and get a loan for a van, which I was able to do. And again, my credit was shit. My credit was awful. Like, it was still awful after the 10 months. And I was able to move on and get a van. Because I knew getting my percentage cut of the 80 cents, it made money. Don't get me wrong, it paid the bills, but I needed more and wanted more. Okay, so the way to get that is I need to buy my own van, and I need to get 100% of that 80 cent, which I did. And I was able to continue to grow and repair my credit and live better under one van. Then I eventually got a second van working for a carrier that paid me 80 cents and most of the time less. While I was with them, my average was normally around 77 cents per loaded mile. Not okay. It's not okay. But I made do. And that's the point that I'm trying to make when I'm commenting on this stuff and seeing this stuff, is like, I'm not saying accept 80 cents and be happy. I'm not saying take it and deal with it as though, oh, this is the greatest pay that's out there. It's not. I'm saying that 80 cents is a good, solid rate, unfortunately. Now, I'm saying that, like two things can be true at once. Like, it can be a good pay for the situation, and it can also be shit for what it should be. Like two things can be true at once. And that's the case with this. 80 cents, unfortunately, has become a point that is on the better side of what's being paid out there. But that doesn't mean you have to stick with it. I'm only simply saying that if your level of living allows you to live off of that, and you've got the desire. Here's the key. Here's the key to the 80 cents, honestly, and less, and in this job in general. If you do not want to work, if your hustle is not strong enough,
your hustle got to be strong in this industry, as in any other industry.
You will fail. You will not make enough money doing this by just thinking you're going to turn down all these loads, be picky, only go when you want to go. Like, no, that's not going to happen. Like, you're going to have to come out here. You got to bust ass. You got to have a lot of desire and enjoy of this job and this lifestyle to make this work for you. Like, just black and white talking about pay that don't mean shit. Who you are is what's gonna make the difference on whether that 80 cents is worth a shit or not. Like, you are, not the pay itself. Like, you're gonna be able to make that do. Now again, and here's the other thing. Like, if you're accustomed to living a $80, $90, $100,000 a year income life, coming out here to work for 80 cents and not have any hustle isn't gonna happen. Even mine. Like, you think about it, like, for mine, like, I did a lot of driving when I was driving for that 80 cents. A lot of driving. And I was never able to break 100,000 gross. So, yes, you have to put a lot of work, and you're going to be around anywhere between that 40 and 60,000, probably more 40, 50,000 is what your income after all your expenses and everything is going to be, with a really strong hustle and work ethic. Okay, coming out here half-assing it, 80 cents, I mean, you're going to be more in the 20 to 30, you know? I mean, that's where you're going to be if you're doing things right. If you can't make ends meet at 80 cents, you're just an idiot. Like, honestly. You're doing something wrong. And let me say, I shouldn't even just say you're just an idiot. You're doing something wrong. And if you can't understand that you're doing something wrong, if you can't take and self-reflect and look at everything and keep track of everything like you should and find the problem, then yeah, you're an idiot. If you're going to sit out there and bitch and be acting like it's the carrier or it's the rate or it's something else as to why you're failing, yeah, you're an idiot then. Because you got to keep track of shit. If you're not following, paying attention to where your money's going, and you're out here and you feel like you're working all the time, like, and again, the hard part with this is trying to get people to understand what is a lot of work. Like, when I was working for 80 cents, the most loaded mileage I did in a year was 135,000 loaded miles. My least with them was 119,000 loaded miles. It's a lot of flipping driving, man. That's not counting the deadhead, the relocating, whatever. It don't count. It's not even counting all that. So if you ain't got the ability to do that and enjoy it and be happy, stay out of expediting, man. Turn the video off. Give up the expediting, go find another career path or another choice to try and follow, because that's not what this is about. This isn't easy money. It only feels like easy money if you enjoy this, if you enjoy the hustle, you enjoy the odd hours, the alone time, the life on the road, the truck stops. Like if you don't enjoy all that shit, this is not easy money. This is hard money out here, man. Being away from home, all these things that people complain about that they want, which I get. Like, everybody's got their own sweet spot, their own likes and dislikes, okay? Unfortunately, this job is very unforgiving on what you want. Like, it doesn't give a shit. Like, you have to give this job certain things or it is not going to treat you well. It is going to beat your ass and it is going to spit you out. Like, that's just all there is to it. And I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm simply trying to be blunt about it, because when I see posts like this and I see so many people crying about certain things, and especially they act like they can't do it when I've done it. Like, I've done it. I'm nobody special. I'm nobody special, man. I've made a lot of fuck ups. I continue to mess up a lot. I continue to make bad decisions. I've made a lot of financial bad decisions. I try to get better. I try to improve. But with all that said, with all the mistakes I've made and the fact that I'm nobody special and I'm still improving and growing, like, you can't tell me that you can't do it now. Like, now you can't tell me. I've got felonies. I've made bad mistakes, personally. I've got family that's got a lot of issues that I've spent a lot of money on a lot of dumb shit. I do a lot of frivolous spending. But here I am. I got a few vans. I've got my own authority. I've improved, steadily and slowly throughout that time. So no, you can't tell me that this isn't going to work, because it can. You just have to be able and willing to give it what it needs to help you grow. That's the bottom line, man. I get frustrated with that shit, man, because just like in these comments, one guy was saying, he's talking about how I bitch about cheap rates, and yet here I am, I got my own authority, and the drivers that we sign on, we pay 80 cents. And he's like, what changed? Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed at all. I believe we deserve better than 80 cents, drivers signed on. I believe even us with our authority, we deserve more money than what we're getting. But the only way to get that is for us to eventually get our brokerage and get on with, direct shippers. That's where you're going to get the money. Like, you have to, I've said it before, you have to cut out all the middlemen, the people that are taking a piece of your money. And you need to get it directly from where the money's coming from. As I explained to him, nothing has changed. I've just come to understand that if you pay attention, like, call all the freaking carriers you can find. Ask them how much they're going to pay. Then talk to the drivers. Talk to all the drivers you can. Ask them what they're getting paid per mile. And I will guarantee you that 80 cents is on the upper end of what people are getting per mile. And with us personally, and again, like I tried to explain to this guy, I can't and won't sell somebody on why, on coming on board with us for 80 cents. We offer 80 cents. This is simply what it is. If this sounds good to you and you want to work with us and hope that we grow and we're able to pay more at some point, like you're more than happy to come on board. But I'm not going to feed you shit and be like, oh, we're going to pay you excellent money. And then you get on board and then it's like, well, we're giving you 80 here, 60 there. Like overall, one of the things we do try and do, though, is we try to make sure that the overall loaded rate per mile, that's all money's going in, whether it be accessorials or money for deadhead, money for relocate, whatever it may be, that your average per mile loaded is better than 80 cents. And I say that because when I was with the carrier with 80 cents, as I stated earlier, my average per loaded mile was 77 cents. Another guy with that same carrier was at 75 cents. So most carriers, their loaded rate per mile, average loaded mile per rate, loaded rate per mile, is going to be less than their contracted rate. Most of them, almost all of them. So that matters to me. Being a numbers guy, that matters to me. It should mean that the drivers are being taken care of overall and being treated fairly. Okay, and that's our biggest desire. And as I stated in a few videos ago about, I struggled with coming out in the open with this authority and bringing on drivers because of the rate that we could pay. Okay, so nothing's changed. I still believe that we deserve better, but we have to do something to make it better. That's just like, some people may bitch about, the police, the government, whatever. Best way for you to make change is become a part of it and try to make change from the inside out. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're trying to do our part as best we can. Now, I can't make a house without any lumber. I can't do certain things without access to materials or the ability to do it. So I have to be involved and deal with what I have. I'm limited on what I can do and can't do, and no matter how much I want to do. Just like now, like I've stated before, we can get all kinds of drivers come on. We can pad our pockets. Me and my brother, we could easily pad our pockets, no problem. But I'm not willing to do that. We are not willing to do that. So we are at a very low amount of overall units because we don't want to, for one, we don't want to take on more than we can deal with, and not, and some drivers are sitting, we can only get some going, and some are sitting, and everybody's getting on top of each other. We don't want all that. So we're staying small, and then we're trying to build slowly and solidly and see where that goes. So I'm kind of getting off the point a little bit, but the point was that he brought up about whether it changed, what's changed or not. Nothing's changed. Okay, we should still get more, and we're trying to do what we can to give more, but at the same time, this is here as an option. You either choose to use it or you don't. That's not to say you should come take 80 cents and not go look for anything better, but if you're wanting to get into this industry and you have a van, you're trying to get started, nobody else is taking you, and an 80-cent carrier is willing to take you, you should be able to make money and maintain everything until you find a better situation, gain experience, gain knowledge, gain everything you need to do, stature, whatever it may be. You can do that and then move on to something better when you find it. That's the same way I did it. I mean, you think I wanted to stay for under 80 cents a mile overall average? No, but at the same time, I needed a certain income level. And my working so hard and at a certain volume was able to give me that for the time being, because I couldn't find it anywhere else. Yes, I found other carriers that paid better rates, but, and that brings me on to the next point of this, is that, but when I talk to the drivers, they're saying, like there was one guy in particular when I first started. He's talking about how he drives for 95 cents, or with Bolt. He was with Bolt, and at that time it was $1.05. Sorry, or no, he was 95 because he was in a cargo van. He was getting 95 cents, I believe it was 90 or 95. I was getting my 80-cent contracted rate, but yet at the end of the week, he's only pulling in like 1,000, 1,200 miles. I'm racking 3, 4, 5,000 miles up. So who's got more money at the end of the week? Yes, I'm beating my van up, but I have to. And that's another thing, trying to do the job to the point that you can take care of your vehicle well. I've gotten a lot of use out of my vehicles, knock on wood, but other people don't. But anyhow, the point is that through sheer volume, I was making the money I needed and making more than this guy who couldn't make the move. He wanted to run more, he wanted more money overall, but he couldn't wrap his mind around leaving 95 cents for 80 cents. He just couldn't wrap his mind around that. And that's where some people, thwart their own progress, is that they just can't accept certain things. Same thing with me. Like, I should have been doing what I'm doing now a year or so ago, but I couldn't wrap my mind around what we had to do and what we only had the ability to do. So you got to be smart about things, man. You got to really, think about things and understand things. But I don't know, man. I'm done rambling because I'm actually sitting here waiting to pick up, and it is 12 o'clock. They said they'd be ready at 12. So I'm done ranting for now, but hopefully you got my point, man. Like, you can do it. Like, 80 cents, you can live off of it. That's not me saying accept it, stay with it, don't ever move on. I'm just saying, like, it can be done. I've done it, man. Like, I am not going to offer anybody anything or do anything for anybody that I haven't gone through myself and have been able to succeed at and move on. So, with that being said, I'm out.